Great, good afternoon everyone, and I have to say on many levels, Jermaine, I know you're leaving the office, but the room, but that was an incredibly hard act to follow, and can I just add my thanks to you for what you've shared, because I think it's an incredibly powerful reminder, frankly, of why we are all here. It's not only a fantastic example of what a medicine has done to Fraser, but can I also just sort of pay tribute to you, because a few times in your video you mentioned Fraser's positivity. I don't think we need an evidence-based analysis. I think I can speak on behalf of everyone. We say, I wonder where he gets that positivity from. So just really, really inspirational how you've approached that challenge for you as a parent, and thank you for sharing your story with us. So thank you very much indeed for inviting me to celebrate 20 years of the All Wales Medicine Strategy Group with you. It's a real honour for me to share a platform with such brilliant colleagues from across the medicines regulatory and assessment system in the UK. My name is Richard Torbett. I lead the ABPI, the Association of the British Pharmaceutical Industry. We're the trade body representing the research-based pharmaceutical industry in the UK. We represent companies of all sizes who invest in discovering new medicines and vaccines, and who supply these cutting-edge treatments that improve and save the lives of millions of people across the whole of the UK. I'm incredibly proud to the work in the industry that I work in. I speak to many colleagues every day from different functions, for those engaged in discovery science or clinical trials, or in the market access world, many of whom are represented here today. And you know, I get a real sense of pride in everyone that works in the industry about the difference that our industry can bring to patients. But I also think we have to be really clear, and it's really important to be clear in this audience, that with the innovation that is coming into the world, I was struck by a phrase on my slides, exponential growth in innovation. That brings real challenges. It's critical for all of us that society has confidence in the medicines that physicians are prescribing. We've heard brilliantly from Dame June the importance, the criticality of the safety of medicines. And of course, many of you in this room are also engaged in the equally critical debate around how we make the best use of scarce healthcare resources. And I know that we are in Wales. This is a celebration of AWMSG, but I know we have NICE here, and I believe we have colleagues here from the Scottish Medicines Consortium as well. And I think it's really important that as a representative of the industry, and I say this to my industry colleagues as well, to say we're a science-based industry. So we have to be the most vocal supporters of a science-based approach to dealing with these challenging questions, dealing with the regulation of safety, really taking a scientific approach to understanding cost effectiveness over time and having value drive decision making. Science obviously means debate. It obviously means we debate methods, we improve methods over time. We had some brilliant examples earlier, but we need to be a strong supporter of that science. The work of our members in Wales specifically is really important to me and to the whole of the ABPI. Before we established our office here in Cardiff nearly 20 years ago, our members were already discussing the introduction and development of AWMSG and considering how we should engage. So I'm particularly pleased to be here on your 20th anniversary. Now, I know that many of you will know my colleague Rick Greville, who leads our Wales office here, and I asked him to describe the industry's relationship with AWMSG, and he described it as a marriage. Now, I wondered where he was going with this analogy, because there are definitely a few options, but the way he put it was, we may not always see eye to eye. However, there's really important mutual respect and trust that has allowed us to develop an effective and pragmatic partnership over the years. And I think that fundamentally sounds really healthy. I know that it's thanks to the visionary leadership of colleagues like Professor Phil Routledge that this partnership has endured and grown over the years. From day one, as I think was very clear from the presentations we heard earlier on today, AWMSG has worked with an openness and transparency that's been very much appreciated by the industry, and I have to say is replicated by the other HTA agencies that we work closely with throughout the United Kingdom. I think it's a real strength of the UK that we can have that high trust, open and professional dialogue. The AWMSG approach has changed the way that we think about working effectively with a range of stakeholders across sectors and boundaries to ensure that we get the right medicine to the right patient at the right time. Over the last 20 years, we've been able to welcome AWMSG initiatives which have often led the way in the deployment and evolution of HTA methods and processes, whether it's medicines optimization, and due to this pragmatic and collegiate approach to decision making, underpinned, of course, by robust health economic and clinical opinion. AWMSG has always collaborated and aligned its approach with NICE, certainly with our support, whilst retaining a Welsh dimension, especially with the introduction of end-of-life and rare disease modifiers. It's important now, as much as ever, to ensure that AWMSG maintains its individuality with pragmatism and purpose to retain and build on your profile and relevance. You've also never lost the focus on the importance of consistency in the adoption of recommendations, minimising the risk of inequity and willing to make changes when variation in access and uptake is identified. But it's thanks to your commitment to openness and transparency that Professor Routledge and his team have adopted from the very earliest days of the group that has been transformatory. With appraisal decision-making involving all interested parties held in the public domain and full and open consultation with stakeholders before the publication of policy and strategy documents, we've all been able to contribute and work together for the benefit of patients in Wales. A great example of this is the establishment of the NHS Industry Forum. By supporting engagement with the industry, we've been able to demonstrate the benefits of having our members involved in all areas of policy development, and this in turn has led to full industry representation on the All Wales Prescribing Advisory Group. Critically, AWMSG has ensured that patients, the public and healthcare professionals were also and remain to this day an integral part of decision making. And by championing this vital role that these groups play, we now have the patient and professional voices embedded in every committee within the AWMSG structure. This has made sure that AWMSG thinking and practice has evolved alongside public and professional expectations. Similarly, as perspectives and contexts have evolved AWMSG's thinking, the pharmaceutical industry has also evolved its thinking and approach over time. Since becoming Chief Executive of the ABPI, one of the things that I'm most proud of is the way in which we've changed the way we work with patients and the public. We've created a new Patient Advisory Council that is genuinely embedded in every part of our decision-making at the ABPI, and that's recently been recognised by the Independent Patient Information Forum for the way in which we involve patients and the public in our work, and I really hope to build on that in the coming years. We've also encouraged greater transparency in the way in which companies and healthcare professionals work together. The introduction of Disclosure UK, which the ABPI runs, is among the most transparent systems in the world. I was delighted that we were able to showcase this at the recent All Wales Therapeutic and Toxicology Centre Training Day and highlight the important role that Disclosure UK plays in ensuring that patients and the public retain their trust in both the industry and the healthcare system. We also recognise the importance of industry championing equity, diversity and inclusivity by recruiting and considering all available talents. And this is not just about our workforce, of course, but critically the way in which the industry recruits to clinical trials. And again, referring to Dame June's presentation, I thought we saw some brilliant examples of why that is so important. Frankly, we still have an enormously long way to go, but we are moving in the right direction and we are really determined to make solid progress. Pharmaceutical companies have consistently supported and engaged across the breadth of the work undertaken by the AWMSG, ensuring that the industry voice has been loud, clear, and I hope always collaborative. I've been delighted to see so many colleagues from across our members here today celebrating as part of the AWMSG family. This is an exciting time for medical science. The R&D pipeline is evolving rapidly and already looks unrecognisable from just a decade ago. AI and data-driven drug discovery is transforming the nature of R&D alongside new partnerships and collaborations. This is genuinely a moment of change, and with that change comes opportunity. There are so many examples, from immunotherapy to cell and gene therapies, where this revolution is taking place, and it's happening alongside the development of cutting-edge diagnostics, digital therapeutics, and other technologies. All of which means the UK has the chance to be a leading light in global life sciences. We've recently conducted some research at the ABPI to try and calculate the potential of what the sector can add to the UK economy. And we think that if we fully integrate and fully implement the life science vision, over the next 30 years, we can add £68 billion in extra GDP just from research and development alone. But right now, we also have to be honest and say there are significant headwinds in our way. Although we are keeping pace, we are maintaining our level of R&D investment in this country. Overall, I would say the UK at about £5 billion, which is more than any other sector invests in R&D. Every other part of the world is growing quicker than us. So in fact, if we look at the global share in R&D, we've lost about 50% over the last 10 years. So we're healthy, we've got great potential, but there's some worrying signs for the future, and it's really important that we reflect hard to turn that round. It's why the ongoing dialogue that we have in Wales is so important, because we want some of that potential to be realised in Wales. So it just leaves me now, I'm going to conclude by just really congratulating AWMSG again, all the colleagues in the room that work with you and have worked with you over the years on your 20th anniversary. I don't just want to celebrate your birthday today as an organisation, but really to wholeheartedly congratulate you on your contribution to patients, to health and access to medicines in Wales for patients in this country over those 20 years. Please count on the ABPI's continued partnership as we look into the future, and here's to the next 20 years. Thank you very much.